Hello, everyone. This is Age of Bison with another casting game. I am Dunamai, and I am joined today with my dearest blueberry, Madonna. How are you doing?
Hey guys, I'm doing good. I'm really excited about this replay because it's two of our fellow Sunbro members, Carrie and Toblerone. And there is an elo gap between these guys. So I'm really curious how this will turn out. If we will see some really good gameplay, um, or maybe some experimental stuff from one of the players. I'm not sure. We'll see.
All right. So this map, if I am not mistaken, is Wallachia. Um, so a pretty, again, bountiful map with even a water option. It's not amazing water, but it's good water still. This part on the west being actually very important with two trade posts, two hunt, and two gold mines, which are the only gold mines on the map. So control of this area of the map will give you not only access to an extra native and two extra hunt and two trading posts, but 10,000 coin, which is pretty much equivalent to essentially your whole side of the map in coin. So it's pretty important. But obviously, being there means that you relinquish water and try to control both might prove a bit hard.
For sure.
Maybe you want to introduce us to the matchup, Madonna.
Yeah, so this is another classic matchup. I believe it's Brits favored, but I'm not sure. I just feel like Brits, they can deal with Dutch skirms pretty well if they go longbows, and Dutch doesn't really have any other options.
Interesting. Uh, I personally think it's a kind of a skill matchup. Like, can you make sure you punish the Dutch player from wanting to go H3? Once the Dutch player is in H3, you can have some scary timings, with this Reuters skirm push. That's really threatening. But definitely, if Brits can just force the fight in H2 and really use that powerful economy of theirs early on to force Dutch to lose more and more and more mass and momentum and idle and villager efficiency, you can really have some scary situation for Dutch.
I agree. I just think that, Brits can boom pretty well.
Oh,
Uh,
definitely. Yeah.
so it's gonna be like if both players are try to boom, well, I guess we'll see who turns out on top.
So Brits
Looks like
aging up.
he's aging with the with the governor.
Yeah, we're gonna check the deck real quick. British standard. Ooh, that
That
is.
is the most standard deck I've ever seen.
Yes, sir.
Even the VC card that you never use, but you have to have it.
Yeah, maybe the church card, but I feel like it became standard since the rework. So I completely agree with you. That's the most standard deck. To be fair, it does what it says on the tin, on the can. Like, it says British standard, and we don't have anything like out of the ordinary. On Caralag, 1v1 Dutch, and again, it feels like a battle of standard decks to me. Maybe the 8 halves are a bit, like, off, but other than that,
Yeah,
like, that's pretty standard for Dutch.
I like the Irish Briggs. That's a card that Carey always has in his deck. Like no matter the civ, every civ that has that card, he has it in the deck.
And honestly,
It's a it,
for
it's
go
such
ahead.
a good card for Dutch too because they don't have a Musk, so that
Mhm.
it really helps with the some extra anti-cav.
And again, it's Dutch, so it's not like the 500 coin cost is a problem.
Exactly.
So we have the governor for Brits and for and for Dutch. I think we have the governor too. So two
No, no,
governors.
no, 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 no,
No,
no.
sorry.
It was the you're checking the wrong
Yes,
side.
sorry. Quartermaster, which makes sense, much more sense for
Yeah.
Dutch. So bank in transition, we have the 500, the 400 would be gathered. That might go in another bank. No, actually a stable.
Table start. That's interesting.
Choosing
That's
to
kind of risky,
wait.
isn't it?
I mean, against Brits, that certainly is, because those masks are expected. And I mean, we said British standard, like, doesn't get more standard than this. The outdoors, the racks, we're getting to queue some stuff. Uh, this is this is as British as it can be.
I just feel like, what are the odds that Brits are gonna go early longbows against Dutch? Is that something people do?
I don't think so. Um, I mean, it's good if you have like a few skirms in there, but you want to siege stuff against Dutch. Siege down the market, siege down the
Yeah,
houses,
exactly.
maybe even the banks. So longbows are not going to help with that.
And we even saw Brits start with a batch of pikes, so I feel like Carey has to really. He can't really use the cav for fighting. He has to do it. He has to do it for raiding.
Mhm. Although I
Oh,
do
okay.
like the cross pike approach of Toblerone. If he can like get the skirms away with the longbowmen and siege with the pikes. Obviously, Toblerone does not know he's going for a stable start, but the idea makes sense for a standard Dutch.
Yeah, for sure. I would like to see another barracks, so he could double produce.
Uh,
But
we do have 600 coming in, so you might get your wish very soon.
yeah, we'll see. Let's see if he can do some damage here.
So
What are these house places? What, Carey? What are you doing?
uh,
It's
maybe
outside of the
some
TC range.
line of sight, but even then, I think you already get the line of sight. Oh,
You don't
so
need line of sight as Dutch. You just want to sit in your base, mine coal.
I won't comment on this because we will get a lot of angry comments from Dutchmen like, no, you don't want to sit in your base with Dutch, blah, blah, blah. But do note that
Uh,
I kind of think the same, though.
I'm not sure about why we have so many longbows. Oh, you're missing the fight.
Yeah, but because we have a pop of militiamen, us not doing a good job. There's not enough pikes, unfortunately, and those militiamen
He should have just
are not going to
cleaned
grab those
those
pikes.
pikes.
Ooh,
Okay, we have a
pikes,
reinforcing
all the
batch.
pikes coming in, and
A
there's
lot of
definitely a double batch here. We're going to check the barracks situation afterward. Those pikes are a little bit exposed, unfortunately, and you
Ooh.
need to run away. Those militiamen will lose HP. You
Yeah.
don't want to take the fight, albeit a decent one.
No, you
He's
never
gonna
want to
get
fight
walloped.
Minutemen like that, ever.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Oh
very
no,
unfortunate. This mess is gonna go down. Um,
that's huge.
Toblerone, unfortunately, Toblerone still only has one Rex. That is very unfortunate. He does have a lot of villagers compared to Caroleg's villager, but do keep in mind that there are three banks. So we have, I think it's four villager per bank. So we
Oh,
have
nice catch.
34 with a nice catch on the Hussar. A last thrust kills this Hussar. Good job on Toblerone. Um, so overcommitment from Toblerone, but then Cadillac goes with another overcommitment, so it kind of equalizes. And as you said, I think you were right about that, Madonna. We can see Brit's eco uh, getting ahead. This amount of villager definitely compensates for the banks.
I'm not sure why he would ship more longbows. Like, there's nothing the longbows do right now. For Brits, in my opinion.
Little rally point problem here. As we have more pikes going in, I think he expects Dutch to have a bit of uh, skirm action. Oh, and a good move
Oh
by
god.
Karalag.
Oh
Two
god, I can
control
just see
groups.
the. Oh shit. I feel like this is gonna be a massacre.
In those situations, you're bound to lose at least one villager. Like you pay attention to one thing and look at
Yep.
that. He's paying
Yeah.
attention to one thing. Oh, but good reflex by Toblerone. Actually, not losing that much. Just one. That's
He
just the
didn't
one.
lose a single.
He lost one here. And passing, playing
He
into
has. He
Toblerone.
must
And
have
in the other
great
side,
cards,
there's
right?
a push of
Oh,
infantry.
nice.
Exile Prince coming up with Dutch. So we'll have some H3 moment. And these guys cannot raid anymore because they have
I
to
think this.
help
I
with that.
actually think this is a mistake by Carry. He should stay in his base or stay in Brit's base with his all of his cav.
Yeah, that he's gonna lose a bank here, and that is pretty
Yeah, but he can't. He
huge.
can't touch the longbows. He can't touch the longbows.
No,
He should keep
cannot.
raiding. That's the only way he can do damage right now. He
To be
needs
fair,
to wait for his first H3 shipment.
he's keeping these pikes honest. Right now, they are not sieging. So
Fair,
maybe
but
it was.
I don't know.
Oh, but this is a
I still think
sandwich
that was a mistake.
situation. Unfortunately, pikes need
Brits
to
needs to be
swing.
pushing. I don't know what he's doing.
Maybe going for 700 coin. Yeah. So I think this is a mistake because these
Yeah.
guys only have an effect until you like.
Yeah, we have lost about like a minute of sieging while he was just running back and forth. He
But
does have
there's
a good eco, so
definitely
it's not it's not the end of the world, but
that definitely
he needs
looks
to
like an
be really
H3.
careful.
Keep
Yeah,
in mind,
for sure.
Brits don't have the exiled prince, so this will be a slow H3 regardless because you don't have the
Right.
GMT card. This is where longbowmen are very good though, but he needs more of them because whatever pops out of there, if it's not like 4 Hussar or
Watch
the
for base.
mercenary Cav, the longbow will be able to deal with it.
For sure.
But I'm surprised that we see more pikes. I think more longbows could really help.
We need a second Rax. We still don't only have one, right?
We still have the one. Yeah.
Can we take a look at the Dutch, what he's doing?
Dutch does not just put down racks. He is popped because of the sieging happening. He has a bit of skirmisher, only 4 that are getting, to be honest, pretty much eaten alive by those longbowmen. Fortunately, there's not enough.
Yeah, this is a good trade for Brits.
This massive cav is getting pretty out of hand, and those longbows are needed to kill the Reuters, so I'm pretty concerned about Toblerone right now. But that's a second bank down, and Dutch is down to 2 banks, even though
He
he
has
invested
no
in
coin
4.
at all. And Dutch keeps running his cav into pikes.
So I think you're right, Madonna. Maybe the play was just putting those Hussar like in a raiding mission, keep having those 2 control groups, even though you.
Imagine if for like the last 2 minutes, if or even 3 minutes, if Dutch was just in Brit's base all the time. Like you don't have to necessarily kill villagers. You just have to idle. Is the way I see it, the Dutch army hasn't really done much to actually defend his base. Now we have a mass though, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, good point you bring up here, Madonna, is about army efficiency. People often talk about villager efficiency and not having your unit idles, but you definitely have to strike a balance between using your units and making sure you don't lose unit because you don't mass enough. And that's a hard balance to strike.
Are those Hussars vet yet, or is it still H2?
They are just
Still
H2.
H2. Okay.
Keep in mind that the Reuters and the skirmisher are H so we don't have a problem about that.
Oh, that's way too many pikes, in my opinion.
Those skirms are getting crazy value, but unfortunately, Karalag is slipping up. His Reuters are getting chased.
What the What?
I don't really know who's winning because that's a lot of dead Reuters.
What? What is Dutch doing? That was such an easy win. He just needed to kite.
To be fair, sometimes kiting against a whole lot of bite can be overwhelming. You just need one snare.
That's true.
So this cav being like stashed away, can Toblerone see that cav? Toblerone definitely can see that cav.
Brits is stacking 2 shipments. That could be a huge power swing. Oh, wow. He didn't lose barely anything in that fight. I don't know how.
And this,
And we
that's
have
a
a second
second
TC.
So Toblerone showing off the micro here.
I love this.
And just a nice little militiaman pop, and not the best trade in the world, but definitely not a bad one. Definitely
Okay,
buying
so we have
himself
2
a lot of
Falks
time.
and more Musk coming in. I want to see the Vetex though.
Hussar,
And-
Reuters, and Skirm on Dutch's side. And on Toblerone, we have Musketeers and Longbow, but keep in mind, Musketeer are being upgraded right now. And that is 32 of them. Unfortunately,
Oh, he can't take this fight before
I think he's
Vetex,
stressed.
though.
He needs to.
No, his TC
Carry
is
is
almost
moving
full
back.
HP. And he just wants to kite. I mean, he can't take a straight up fight. What is he doing? Just run. What are you doing? Oh no.
And so definitely some small micro mistakes from Karalag. Again, there's a lot to do. He has multiple control groups. He was under pressure pretty much the whole game. So it's kind of understandable.
Has Dutch been able to rebuild any banks?
I think they have. We are on 3 banks. So I think 5 banks, 6 banks have been built this game, and 3 have been sieged down. Oh, unfortunately, a bit of another confidence of this villager that is going to pay dearly for it, unfortunately. We have 22 units. I mean, honestly, 20 units, not counting the envoy and the explorer. And on Toblerone's part, we do have 55, and now there's Falconets.
Oh my god.
Dutch is
Yeah.
famously weak to Falconet's timing, so we'll see how that goes.
The Dutch cannot hold this at all. And Brits has another shipment too, so this is gonna be rough. For,
What would you like to see on this shipment in H3?
Honestly, I want the 5 Hus.
5 Hus, just keeping up the mass and the pressure.
Yeah, for sure.
So
as long as the Falcons are alive, the Dutch can't touch the Brits.
House killed. He cannot finish this batch of Hussar and keep up merchant production. And we're gonna have another house killed. If that comes out,
we have the Bosniaks though coming.
Bosniaks incoming. Brits definitely want to mass up. He's thinking of going in. This is a stagger mode just for that. Unfortunately, the pathing of the trees just clumped them up right before the shot. Like that is bad luck. Good reflect from Toblerone. This is a good bunker on Musketeers. Yeah. 2 sides you need to have those Musketeers in melee. Will he kills instantly the Falconets going down, and suddenly this is a whole other fight. Bosniak being shredded by the Musketeers, but that does not change the fact that these skirmishers are going to counter the Musketeers. He is falling back. I think this is a win for Brits.
That's a decent trade.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think Dutch is running out of food. He has nobody on food, and I don't see any on the minimap on his side.
Karalag definitely recognizing this, putting more villager on this, but look at that.
There's some on the right side. Oh god.
He cannot sustain any production because he lacks food, so what does he do? straight up builds a tavern and goes for mercs, which I really enjoy.
Uh-oh. But is Toby making any cav? I don't think he is. He's only making musk cannon, right?
I mean, Muscannon is definitely good enough if you don't have like a whole lot of goons. And keep in mind, Toblerone has no idea that Karanak is going for goons. Good reflex
Shoot.
on these Bosniak. They are not numerous enough to be of any use right now, so he's sending them to
Oh, look,
raid.
look, look. Brits is on water.
Grid starting water boom indeed.
This
I
is really
really
nice.
like. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're already ahead, like in eco, just go boom even more. Like, it's such a good option.
And honestly, on Valakia, a lot of people think about this part, and not a lot of people think about that part. To be fair, sometimes they think about one or the other, but controlling both is actually really hard in terms of like, mental load. You have to move on the left,
Yeah.
move on the right. So really nice job from Toblerone here.
Yeah, I mean he has almost 70 villagers, so like he's floating rest, so why not use it for something useful? I would like to see nice pickup there. Uh-oh.
But the Black Riders, and look
Uh-oh.
at that, even the Bosniak being called here, wonderful cornering, and all the Falconets die except one. Can this one Falconet turns the tide? It seems it can. The skirmish are definitely falling back. And Brits being just happy to.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Brits just has a bigger mass. Like, I don't think Dutch can do anything. I don't think Black Riders is the right choice either.
Karilag seems to disagree and agree with you at the same time, because we have 4 Black Riders, but also 2 calls being called.
Why would he go Black Riders? There's not a single heavy cav on the Brits side.
I think
And
it's to counter the Falks, but the calls will do a much better job.
yeah, that's what I mean. You're spending, how much are those?
270, I think. Yeah.
That's really expensive. Like yeah.
To be fair,
I mean,
this was
okay, I
good.
mean that was worth it. But now you have 2 useless calls. I guess maybe let's hope for Carrie's sake that Brits is gonna make more call runs. Or
Yeah,
sorry, more cannons.
I think the writing on the wall at that point, like Toblerone is gonna go for some
But
more
look at
artillery.
the eco. He's just spamming fishing boats. He's spamming villagers. He's getting that vast arsenal. Like, this is looking rough for Dutch.
This is indeed looking bad for Dutch, and keep in mind too, for the viewers, Dutch is limited to 50 villagers to compensate for the fact that they have banks. So in very late game, even though Dutch can boast a higher military mass because you don't have as much villager, you cannot keep up with a fully developed British economy. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah, especially when you're on 3 banks.
That definitely doesn't help. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You're right about that. We still have
The hussars are
H2
still not
Hussar.
upgraded. Oof.
I think don't have any upgrade so far from Karilag. Look at that, the sneaky envoy reporting back to the main base that there are villagers. And this could be a huge raid, and that 34 HP envoy could be the MVP of that game. That is a lot of dead villagers that are about.
The thing is, it doesn't matter though, because Brits is so far ahead. Like, anyways, with the villagers. Oh,
Some
nice with
pikes.
the pike.
I think these are old pikes, so really nice on Toblerone of using them, as a defensive, as a deterrent for cats. Definitely saved 4 villagers here, so I really enjoy this. Really creative.
Yeah, Toby's playing really good.
Yeah, so Madonna said it before, the elo discrepancy is that Toblerone is actually the lower elo player. And
Yes.
when we look at that replay, it definitely does not feel like it. Toblerone's playing very solid Brits right now.
Oh, not every day you see Black Riders raiding,
And by
but
the
they
way,
did
look
increase
at
their
the
hand attack.
DE
So
thing. Look at those rapier and that armor. This is gorgeous.
this looks like, is this Age of Empires 3? It looks like Age of Empires 2 to me.
Like, I'm like, I'm so happy we get this like graphic overhaul. And while I'm
Uh-oh.
gawking at this wonderful graphics,
Where are the pikes?
we have a very, very big raid.
We need to check the Dutch base because it's getting
Ooh,
annihilated, I think.
and yeah, Brits recognizing this. Unfortunately, the coloring getting huge value.
Oh my god. Oh no. This could be a really bad trade for Brits. He needs to pull back. Oh, he's just gonna brute force it. Oh no. Wait,
Ooh,
no,
and
I
that
think Dutch
choke
is
is
gonna do it.
terrible for Brits.
I think Dutch is
Those
gonna win
musketeers are
this.
getting shredded. And the flank, and the cav coming.
No.
Oh no!
Holy
And all
shit.
of those villages are idle, and the reinforcing batch is not gonna help much. And oh,
Wow.
that was a beautiful surround by carry. And
Wow.
Toblerone needs to pull back.
Yeah,
This
for
is
sure.
just throwing more meat into the meat grinder at that point.
I think what Toby needed was some hussars, or just like another unit. Even longbows would have helped, I think, because once the cannons die, the musketeers are basically useless.
Mm-hmm. And at that point, the 5 Hussar, as you said, even if those are H2 Hussar, would have made such a difference.
Yeah. If you're gonna go cannon heavy, you really need to be careful. Like you need to have good cannon micro. You might need to make
Counter calls yourself, too.
yes, exactly. Yeah, and you have to be really careful there. Like if you lose your cannons, you have to pull back so you don't lose your entire army, like we saw Toby did there.
And I think this is a mistake of Toblerone of going double dock. Like, this water is not that bountiful. You will dry up that water in a matter of minutes with that amount of boat.
Yeah, there's a point to be made there that you might, if there's only limited rest on the water, like you don't want to make like 70 boats because they're gonna eat up all the food instantly. Oh, is that Napoleon guns?
Karadag going with Napoleon gun. This is interesting. Karadag, I
God.
think, was pushed off a lot of food, so he's trying to mix in mercenaries to help with massing. And those hussar are still going at it, gnawing at Toblerone's leg. That's absolutely terrible. And while
Oh
Toblerone is looking at that, he's getting
no.
shredded by the coals. And
Obi, please make a call. What? I think that,
those
honestly,
coals.
if I can say something, this is where the elo difference is starting to show. We just see Dutch taking better fights overall because he knows like when to push, when to fall back. But we still see an eco lead from Brits. But once the water dries up, well, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Well, all of this fishing boat but 8, because you have 2 whales on this map, will go idle. So he will lose 22 villagers pretty much instantly.
We have another, what is that, 4 Falcons?
Yes, 4 Falcons being created. I think
I don't know. I feel like he's trying to brute force his way through, but it just isn't working out.
I think at that point it can also be just, analysis paralysis. You have so much going on. It's 30 minutes into the game. And I think this is also one of the hallmark of higher elo player. they can keep the attention and delay this analysis paralysis for longer and have these, more balanced and switch more balanced games, switch more, have more, reflection on the game. And
I
definitely
just
this
wanted
is showing
to
up.
point out that Toblerone has actually sent the Finn. What is it called? The Finn red
Thin
line
red line.
from the Dutch, or from the church card, and he's sending the HP card for the Musk right now. So he's gonna have some beefy boys.
We're gonna see it right now. He also sent the advanced arsenal, so these guys are monsters.
Right.
270 HP, H3 Musketeer. Keep in mind, a standard Imperial Musketeer has 300 health. This is how much he buffed them. I think at that point, Dutch needs counter infantry rifling because he could actually brute force his way. And you
Can
got
we
your
check if?
wish.
Oh,
We have a cult, but we also have
a
a
single
raid.
call.
And
Oh
two
god.
Hussar doing crazy work
Oh no.
on Brit's economy.
Yeah, look, and he's losing his cannons again to the calls. Oh, that was a misclick by Carry. He shot the units instead of the cannons.
Two cannons. Fortunately, those
Yeah.
cannon not getting much value. The calls in here, preventing Toblerone from getting value out of this. And these two Hussar are still going at it. Those meals were full. Oh, this is kind of disgusting.
Look how much. Okay, he's going H4. Wow. Okay, so yeah, looks like the units are just so tanky that he's just gonna brute force. I think there's still some Blackwatch left in there.
Mm-hmm.
5 of them, wow. Yeah.
Blackwatch do have one more range since the last
really?
patch, so it's kind
What?
of easier. But
That's
oh
rad.
my god, he
Oh
killed
my god.
he killed 20 villagers with those two hussars.
Toby.
That's
Why you should
rough.
never make mills around, like, that isn't around a TC or an outpost. Like, he has nowhere to run. I guess he could run into these fishing boats, but
So
yeah.
I was talking about MVPs before. This is not the envoy that was here. This is definitely that. And oh, Karolak, we didn't see that, but he killed
The
the
TC,
TC.
yeah.
So
And now
now
he
Karolak
secured
has
the
control.
wow. He has secured those gold mines. That's huge.
And that's not that huge for Dutch, but what is huge is he denied them for Brits. And now Brits
Yeah.
doesn't have anywhere to gather the coin. He has to go from estates. And
Yeah, if we
like
look at the coin income of Brits, it's actually pretty bad.
pretty bad. And keep in mind, look at the LOS. If you forego water, he only sees his part of the map. But Karolak sees
Oh
everything.
shit! Wait, Dutch is up as well. Oh my
Yes,
god, this
sir.
is way more intense than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be over at like 15 minutes.
And these hussars are going to kill the manor house too, because 20 villagers was not enough. And again, if you discount those fishing boats,
Oh,
this
it's a
is
dock.
now a pretty bad economy for. And finally, the Black Watch being called to kill those hussar, but that was pretty big. Brits lost a lot of stuff right there, and Brits is back to 1 TC. So
Just want to
he's
point
about
out that
to
Dutch
lose
has a dock
20.
right there.
Yeah, he's about to lose 20 villages because of he's gonna run out of fish. So he's building basically on 50 villages, the equivalent of Dutch. But Dutch has control of the coin mine, of the banks, and he's now on 5 banks,
Oh
and he
god.
has his first factory. So it's definitely looking good for Dutch, and pretty much all are because of two hussars that were just killed by the Black Watch.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna have to see how that Brits is gonna handle these two heavies.
Brits has a Culverin, so we may
Dutch
see a
does
good
not have
Culverin
any
chance.
culverins left.
But right now, this
Oh,
calls is
Toby,
being
please,
killed.
micro.
I think he's getting screwed by this weird archery thing where it packs whenever it feels like it. Um,
Yeah, and also that there's a lake in the river. You can't walk there, so I'm pretty sure the pathing was messed up because of that.
and those Hussar being the bane of Toblerone's existence. Um, keep in
Did
mind,
we turn
Brits
off the
has
fog of
good,
war?
yeah, Brits has good goons. So I'm curious to see why we didn't have like at least an intervention group of goons that could like intercept Hussars.
Yeah, that's true. I think Carrie's actually making a mistake here. He's investing in water, but there's nothing left on the water. Like at most, he's gonna kill the eight fishing boats on the corner.
Ooh, that is a
Okay,
good
that's
rocket
actually
shot. Oh,
huge. Oh, but his
and
musketeers are not firing. They're just walking around. And he lost all of his rockets.
yeah,
Ooh.
again, the Hussar getting so much value this game. This is actually disgusting.
Oh god. How many falconets have Brits lost this game? I don't even want to count.
And we have you
Oh.
saw the upgrade. We have Irish Brigadiers on the field. 7 Irish Brigs. And look at that. Caroline understanding that the main focus right now is to have this on the playing field. Keep in mind the fort will completely wreck that frigate, so he might want to.
You think he's gonna lose it?
I think he's gonna lose it. It's dead now. It cannot go
Oh
back in
god.
time. So there's an argument to be made that the whole time it was not shooting the infantry, so in a sense it was a way to protect your infantry. But I don't think this is a good way to do so.
No.
And Toblerone calling the GG and throwing the towel.
No.
Just
Toby.
before we say anything, I want to look at this timeline.
Oh god.
This is
No.
two Hussar hacking away at Toblerone's economy the whole time over the course of 2 minutes and 30 seconds. This was pain.
Wow. I think Brit should have just he should have just walled. Like made a single wall from the native TP to the water or the coastline. That would have saved them like 20 mils for sure.
So, what I want to say is, first of all, congrats to Toblerone. Early on in this game, it definitely felt like he was playing, I don't know, 1500, 1600 level. This was good Brits. This was very, you know, high pressure, good tempo. Uh, Using the fact that your H2 economy and your H2 tempo as British is very powerful, very strong, especially into late H2. Uh, Toblerone making full use of it and really showcasing his skill on Brits against a stronger opponent. So really congrats to Toblerone about that. What I would say is the longer the game went, I think like the fuzzier the game plan became for Toblerone. And this is where, as you said before, like Cadillac just showed that his game plan was clear, what his win condition were, uh, what he wanted to go for. Using Mercs when his economy was unbalanced toward gold, and not trading at the market and losing resources. So I think, as you said, the longer the game went, the longer Cadillac showed he was the higher elo player, and this experience shining through. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like that's usually how most games go. Like the longer the game goes, the better it's gonna be for the higher elo player. Because you just make less mistakes the higher up you go on the ladder. So unfortunately we quite didn't get there for bits, but that was some really good gameplay from Toblerone, especially in
Mhm.
the first half.
And I also feel if you don't have this terrible raid. This is a different game.
Yeah,
Um,
I think the reason why he didn't really notice it is because his eco was just on fire. Like he was just floating so much res. So even if he lost a few vills, I don't think he, at that moment he might not have cared. But you know, that let Dutch get back into the game again.
mhm. Another point I just realized because of just pressing Control S to find a stable, you can see this key is not responding. Toblerone did not make a stable this game. Zero
Yeah,
stable.
I really think he needed a third unit type. Like I feel like because the Hussar can do damage once, even if the cannons get destroyed. You know,
Mhm.
you have just some way to keep pushing because there was so many fights where Dutch had lost all of his cav. He didn't really have that many goons, so a batch of maybe 10 Hus could come in and just wipe everything Dutch had.
Mhm. And I feel like actually the thing that I find weird is that I felt like Toblerone was priming Karalag to get completely rolled by this Huss switch, like wave after wave of musketeers who just up the numbers on the skirms, on the defensive artillery like culverins, and it was just waiting. It felt at least that he was just waiting to switch to Huss, and that 20 vet Huss just crashing down that mass and completely wiping him. And that
Yeah, he
never
could
happened.
easily have afforded like four batches of cab like in a right away.
Mhm.
That would have been absolutely massive. And as
And
Carrie's in the chat, and he says that he has a good point about cav being useful for the musketeers, just because they can snare the skirm, so they
mhm.
can't just kite all your musk all the way back home.
um, And again, we are the casters, so it's easy for us to say that, obviously. But uh, sometimes, you're just stuck into your game plan. You don't have the mental space or the cognitive load to just switch and you take a step back from the game. You have to micro, you have to macro. You're managing a water boom. You're booming on the left. You're booming on the right. And I want to go back to this mental load that was really high, I think, on Toblerone, of booming on two sides. And I think it cost him the game because he didn't have the space to envision like, oh, maybe I need to pop down a stable. And definitely, as time goes on and you get more experience, I think you get more abilities to take a step back sometimes. Even if you pull your army back and say, okay, what am I doing right now, and strategize and pivot into a new strategy. But definitely, Toblerone played boxed into a higher weight class, I'd say, on this game.
For sure.
Do you have anything to add as I'm rolling the pulse game?
No, not really. I just want to say Toby did really good, and I want to see another replay where he wins. So, Toby, send us that replay when you beat Carrie.
Definitely. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you do, please like and subscribe. And if you don't, well, like and subscribe all the same because it helps us. I'm just kidding. And well, we'll see you next time.